players to go there because he even found ways to not have to pay players the big contracts because of what? Because you were going to win football games. You're going to get a chance to play with Tom Brady. But now that's not there, right? Now Belichick is kind of seeing, just how important it is to have good players. And I don't think we can sit here and can compare the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the New England Patriots. Those are two totally different built football teams right now. And when Tom Brady left New England, he didn't have the same amount of weapons that he has now. And that's what a lot of people were also arguing for is who is Brady throwing it to? He has no weapons. They're not getting separation. But now he's in Tampa Bay. Now he's getting separation. He has weapons. So I don't think we can compare both of those teams. I think for the average casual fan, they might look at this conversation or look at this question and say, well, yeah, clearly Brady deserves more respect. But for anybody who's actually played the game, Sharpe, I know you can attest to this too, you got to have both. You got to have a good coach, and you got to have good players, and that's it. Whoever deserves more credit or that's for a different conversation. But as far as being a championship caliber team, you got to have the elements of all those things, not just good players. You can't have bad coaches and great players. That won't work. You also can't have great coaches and bad players. That won't work. You got to have great coaches and great players. And that's what they had in New England. And that's why they were able to win so many championships.
It's hard for me to end the debate right now after 7 games. Because, Reggie, you know what I didn't hear? After the first 2 weeks of the season, nobody broached this conversation, did they? Cam Newton was playing unbelievable. They had beaten Miami. Cam had just thrown for 400 yards against Seattle. And nobody said that Coach Belichick was wrong to let Tom Brady go. Now they've kind of fallen on hard times. Tom Brady and the Bucs have seemed to be taking off. Now we want to revisit this conversation. They go hand in hand, as you mentioned, Rich. I can only think of 2 head coaches, Skip, that's in the Hall of Fame, guys, that didn't have a Hall of Fame quarterback. Joe Gibbs, he had 3. None of those quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, and Bill Parcells. Every other coach that's in the Hall of Fame, Skip, he had a Hall of Fame quarterback. Don Shula is the all-time winningest coach. Guess what he had? He had 3 of them. He went from Johnny Unitas to Bob Greasy to Dan Marino. That probably would explain, Skip, why he has the most wins.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Greasy wasn't a great player, but he was very good.
He was
great.
Okay. He was good, he would be considered great for that time.
He would.
Now, we look back at him now when you're throwing tip 5. I think he won a playoff game, Skip. He completed like 3 or 4 passes. But they were a running football team. So what Brady allowed Coach Belichick to do was he could take, it didn't matter the players, because he knew he had the ultimate deodorant, the cover-up of any smell that he brought into that locker room. Brady could cover it up and make it smell sweet. Defense, offense, and like you said, Skip, what Brady allowed Coach Belichick to do was get away with the unthinkable. Pay guys below their market value. Because I heard Darrell Reeves on the podcast said he asked for $16 million. He said, what Tom only makes 14. So he said, well, I can't give you more than him. And that's what he did with everybody, Skip. Once Tom Brady started taking less, Coach Belichick then could say, how can I play you more than what look what he's making. And so that's what he allowed him to do. But let's not forget the fact, Reggie, in 19 years of starting, Tom Brady had 16 times he had a top 10 defense. Exactly what he has now. So 17 and 20 seasons. He has weapons. So we're going to say, well, he didn't have anybody to throw to, and then we're going to say Cam's a bum. The same guys that he had to throw to last year, Cam got them, and they're even worse. Like Julian Skip, you said Julian Edelman was broken down last year. Well, he need to pull that thing side the road. We need to call the tow truck and get him out of our yard, because he can't go nowhere.
Remember, last year he led the whole league in drops, so go ahead.
He up at it again.
Okay.
So, Skip, at the end of the season, I know you've been waiting for this moment. You've been waiting for this moment since you and I got on air 4 years ago in September to say Tom Brady is 80, 85. And I'm sure by the end of the year, your percent of the credit.
Yes.
I'm sure by the end of the year, you'll be at 90. But don't count on Coach Belichick out just yet.
Well, if you say I'm leaping to a premature conclusion, go on the record. Will Belichick turn it around? Will they make the playoffs? Will they do what you predicted they would do and win the AFC East? Will they?
Hold on. Even if they don't do it this year, what if they win the division next year? What if they go to win a Super Bowl in the next couple of years? would that have proved him right?
Tom Brady's going to get to this year's Super Bowl.
You can't
game over.
You can't definitively say that.
Game over. I already predicted it, and I'm standing by it.
You predicted the Cowboys would win, too.
I did not. I said they'd win 10 games.
Are they going to
win the East.
Are they going to win 10 games?
I didn't say they'd win a playoff
Are they going to win 10 games?
No, they're not going to win another game, but that's all you got on me right now because I got Brady all over you.
You do. You got Brady.
Now, I got to go back to my man, Reggie. So Reggie opened up and he was going down the Brady, the Yellowbrook Road to Tom Brady is the greatest and all that. And then at the end, Reggie backed off and said, but you need great coaching and great quarterbacking. So, Reggie, would you break it down to sort of 50-50 what happened with the dynastic Patriots?
Well, I think Sharpe made a great point, right? Brady didn't play defense, and the New England Patriots always had a really good defense. And Belichick was able to even adjust. I don't know if you remember, a couple of times he went from a 4-3 to a 3-4, back to a 4-3. So he was able to adjust with the defense, and he was able to, again, attract players because of Brady. Guys wanted to win championships. That's why Darrelle Revis came there on a one-year deal. He was able to attract Stephon Gilmore there, who's there now, who's playing great football. But they had Brady. Now, some of those guys have opted out. Brady's not there. Gronk's not there. It's a different attraction now. Why would I want to go to New England right now? For what?
Thank you. Here's the point. I said this 4 years ago to my man Shannon, and I stand by it. Tom Brady made Bill Belichick. And now, because he's on this mad mission to get even with Belichick and prove him wrong, and you don't bet against Tom Brady when he's on a mission, he is exposing Belichick for what he is and always was. If you look at those first 5 years, he was a head coach for the Cleveland Browns. They made the playoffs one time in 5 years, and they finished 36-44 overall, and he got fired. Then he goes to New England. Brady is not the starting quarterback. In the first year with Drew Bledsoe, they go 5-11. In the second year, they start off 0-2 before Bledsoe fatefully took a shot from Mo Lewis in the chest, I guess it was, and he was done for much of the rest of the year. He did come back late in the AFC game. But the point is, Tom Brady took over when Bill Belichick, as a career head coach, was 41-57, and the rest is NFL history. Again, I give Brady at least 75% of the dynastic credit because he took over the franchise in the locker room and in the huddle and on the scoreboard. And he allowed Belichick to get away with verbally abusing players in ways no coach could have ever lasted getting away with. There's no way Shannon Sharpe or Reggie Bush would have wanted to play for that Bill Belichick, except that Tom Brady was in the locker room saying, guys, it's okay. It's just the way he is. We'll be okay. We can win in spite of him. And because of that, Bill Belichick got away with bringing in a lot of swings and misses and free agencies. He got away with swinging and missing in the draft a lot.
Yes.
Because he had Tom Brady, as you say, he's the ultimate deodorant, especially on the offensive side. Just give him any old group of receivers and he'll figure it out. Because he won 6 rings with 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime. That's unheard of. That's impossibly great. So he chooses out of the blue Tampa Bay, the Succaneers, as they were called. They had the worst winning percentage in all of sports when he chose, I'm going there. Did anybody say that Todd Bowles had a great defense last year? No, they went 7-9, but I kept telling Shannon Sharpe, down the stretch last year, the last 4 or 5 games, they started to come to life. Then they got the GOAT. And all of a sudden, Levante David and Devin White are saying, God, we got the GOAT. Watch this. And they are playing not just Pro Bowl football. They're playing Defensive Player of the Year kind of football because the whole defense has been lifted by the presence of Tom Brady, who's already recreating the Patriot culture in Tampa Bay. It's impossibly great. I think he's edged ahead in the MVP race. They have edged ahead as the best team in the NFC, and it's making Belichick look worse and worse because he pushed Tom Brady out the door.
Reggie,
Hey, Skip. Sorry, I was going to say this one point.
Go ahead.
I was going to say this one point. Tom Brady is so attractive that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are willing to take a chance on Antonio Brown while their season is already looking very good. This team already looks good. The chemistry is already good. That's how attractive Tom Brady is.
Reggie, let me, quarterback A, He's 22nd in completion percentage. He's 21st in yards per attempt. He's 16th in QBR. He's 6th in pass attempts. Does that sound like an MVP to you?
Nope.
Well, I got one for you. How about a quarterback who leads the whole league in what are called big-time throws with 24? And who also leads the league in fewest turnover-worthy throws with only 3?
Does he lead the league in fewest turnovers? Because my homeboy has one with 16 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers is 17-2. So you talking about worthy plays. I'm talking about actually turnovers.
Second most touchdown passes in the league right now, Tom Brady, or as I call him, Tampa Bay. 18.
Suck
on that for a while.
How about this here? What's my guy's name? Russell. Russell has 22 in a fewer game. So don't count Russ out just yet.
Boy, that same Russ who threw 3 the other night.
You got through 2 in one game, right?
Reggie, we appreciate you joining us, and I would love it if you could stick around because we do have to talk about Skip's Cowboys. I know he's happy about Tom Brady, but things have gotten pretty bad in